Today I want to share with you just how quick, easy, and fun it is to build fantastic looking websites using SeedProd. We will build a restaurant website with a custom homepage, menu page, history page, and order page by using the new SeedProd theme builder. By the end of this video, you should be comfortable creating fully customized websites for yourself, your business, or clients. We have a lot to cover, so let's jump right into it. But first off, I have a clean install of WordPress. You can see the default theme here, and we want to head over to seedprod.com or click the link in the description below. And I'm going to be using the pro version of SeedProd to take advantage of all of the features for this website. So go ahead and click on Get SeedProd and select the account that makes the most sense for you, and then click on Login. On the left-hand side, enter your email address, password, and click on Login. Once you're into your account, let's click on the second tab here called Downloads, and click on the orange button to download SeedProd. We'll also need the license key here in the bottom left-hand corner. Let's click the icon to copy that, and we can close this tab for now. Let's come back to our WordPress dashboard, and on the left-hand side, come under Plugins and Add New. Up top, let's click on Upload Plugin, and we can drag and drop this zip file right here, or you can click on Choose File and select this zip file off your hard drive. Let's go ahead and click on Install Now and activate the plugin. Next, SeedProd is going to ask you for your license key. You can paste that right here and click on Verify Key. And if everything went well, you should see a green success message in the top right corner. If you're using the same browser as I am or similar, you can close this tab at the bottom. On the left-hand side of the menu, you'll see SeedProd installed now. You can create landing pages. You can use the theme builder, which is what we're going to be doing today. You can preview the templates that come with SeedProd. There's subscribers to collect emails, settings, growth tools that we recommend, about us page, and request a feature. Let's go ahead and head under the theme builder section. And this is where you'll see all of your theme templates, but right now we don't have any. So you can add them all manually by clicking on Add New Theme Template. For this example, I'm going to click on Themes. I'm going to import our restaurant theme if we scroll down to the bottom. And there's one here called Restaurant Theme. Let's click the check mark here to import this. Now we can see all of the files that make up this theme. If we refresh the home page, you'll see that nothing's changed. And that's because we need to activate it here in the top right corner for Enable SeedProd Theme. If you currently are building on an active website, you need to be careful because this will override all of your files and your website. Since I'm building a brand new website from scratch, I'm going to enable this. You're going to see a message here. It says this theme requires a static home and blog page to be set in WordPress. And then it asks if you would like us to automatically create these pages and update the WordPress settings. Let's click OK. And now this is going to set our home page and blog page under our settings and the reading section. Let's click OK. So now if we come under settings and reading, here it says your home page displays a static page. So it created the home page and it set it in here for us. And our blog page, it created a blog and put the post page here. In this video, I'm not going to be creating the blog section, so that doesn't really apply to us at this time. Let's come back to the SeedProd theme builder and let's go to our front page. And now if we refresh, we can see that the template was imported into our website. So here we have these different sections, and now we can jump in and start modifying the design. The first thing I want to do is decide how many pages I want. So let's come back, and under pages, let's go to Add New. For this website, I want to have a home page, a history page, a menu, and an order page. So the home page is already created. Let's create one called History, and I'm going to publish this. And I want to create another new page. Let's call this one Menu, and I'm going to publish this as well. And let's do one more new page here, and I'm going to call this one Order. So this is for people that could order online. To keep the length of this video a little bit shorter, there's a great article in WP Beginner on how to set up online food ordering for restaurants in WordPress. I highly recommend that you read this, and there's a video on the YouTube channel on how to do so as well. This will help you set up an ordering system for the ordering page, as I'm not going to cover that in this video. Let's go ahead and publish this page as well. Let's come back to our WordPress dashboard, and here we can see all the pages that we have. Just to clean things up, I'm just going to remove a few pages that we don't need. Great, so now that we have these blank pages, we now know which pages we can build out. I'm going to add these into a menu. So let's go under Appearance and Menus. Let's call a new menu Main Menu. And here we can organize what we want to show in the menu. This will be showing in our header. So I want the home, and then next I'm going to show History. This is just basically an About Us page. The blog, I'm actually not going to show the blog, and then our menu and order. That looks great. Let's go ahead and create the menu. And if we refresh our page, you can see that it did not update yet, and I'll show you why in a moment. Let's come back to SeedProd and the theme builder. So the first section that we actually want to edit is the header. Now keep in mind that these are templates. So this one header part is actually displayed across the whole website. So this one piece here, this black piece, is just this one file. And this is included in the top of the home page, the blog pages, the single post pages, and the single pages. So for example, this header is the same as the one that's shown here on the blog. So that means that we can edit this in one spot and it'll apply site-wide. Let's go ahead under Edit Design. And here we can see the SeedProd page builder. So we have our blocks on the left-hand side that include all of our different elements that we can put on the page, such as buttons and images and videos and contact forms and lots of different options here. So I actually want to create 3 columns here instead of the 2. This purple highlight is the section. Here you'll see blue, this is the row and it has 2 columns. And then the orange are the actual blocks on the page. These are our elements. Let's go ahead and select the whole section here. We can go ahead and delete it. Now, if you're having problems selecting that section, we can go down here to the bottom left with the layout navigation. And here we have all of the different sections on our page. So here I can actually select that section and delete it from this part. And now it's completely gone. Let's go ahead and create a new section. And I want 3 columns here. I'm going to close this right side. And now the 3 columns here, I want to resize them. So I'm going to click here. I'm just going to eyeball this and drag this so the logo will be on this side, about this size. Then I want the menu. And then on the right-hand side, I'm going to add a button, but I want it a little bit bigger than the image on the left side. There, that looks good. Now for the section, I want to set a background color of black. And then I'm going to come back to my blocks by clicking the icon here. And we'll drag in the image block on the left-hand side. And we'll update the settings here to use my own image. And I'm going to select a file on my hard drive, which is my logo that I created earlier. I'm going to select this and click select on the bottom right. And there we go. We can see the little simple logo that I made. In the middle here, let's go ahead and create our menu. So click blocks, and here we can search the blocks. So we'll go menu, nav menu, and we'll drop that in. Let's click the settings. And instead of using the menu type simple, let's use the WordPress menu that we created earlier. And we can select if we have multiple, but we don't. We just have the main menu. Under the advanced tab, I'm going to select the text color. I'm going to change this to white. Now on the right-hand side, let's add a button. We can delete the search, and I'll look for button, and I'll just import this on the right side. Let's go ahead and click the block settings and update the text. I'm going to change this to order online, and I'm going to change the alignment to the right and the size to medium. Let's go under advanced. I'm going to change the background color to red and the border radius to 0. If we come back under the content tab, we have the link, and we want to link to the order online page. We can do a / order, and that'll take us to the order page. Our logo, we want to link to the front page. We can just put a / and that'll do that. And now we just want to align all these items here. So here, let's select the blue row. And at the bottom, under vertical, let's select the center here. Now everything is perfectly aligned. Let's go ahead and save this and refresh. Now we can see our new header on our website. We have our home page. We have a history page, which we haven't created, menu page, order page, and this will link to our order page as well. To get back to the home page, we can click the home link or the logo. Great, the next thing I want to do is edit the footer. So we'll change this one here. Let's come back and save this just to make sure it's saved and close out, and we can edit our footer. Let's go ahead and go to edit design. I'm just going to delete this one and start from scratch. So let's go ahead and add 1 column here. And at the top, I'm just going to add a headline. And let's edit this and change the text to get an instant coupon. Underneath this, I'm going to come back to the blocks and put an opt-in form. So under advanced, we have opt-in form. We can drop that right in here. And let's change the settings here. For the fields, I'm going to hide the name. So we'll just click the email. We have the size, the alignment, submit button. I'm going to change this to join newsletter. And the background color, I'm going to change to red. Under advanced, we can come down under border radius and change this to 0. For this blue row, let's click on this. And under width, let's put this down. Let's say about 500. Great, let's go ahead and add another column. This will be a single column. And we'll just put a divider in here. So I'll search for the divider. We'll drop that in here. I'm just going to leave that alone for now. We won't style anything too much right now. And then at the bottom, I want to have my logo, the menu, and then another button to order online. So I'm just going to fast forward the video on this part because we already did this in the header. So there we go. We can't see the logo because it's white and our links here for the menu are white, but we can see our button here. Next thing I want to do is add a background to this section. So let's select the section, go under advanced, and let's add some spacing to the top. So up here, I want a little bit more white space. Let's uncheck this because if we add in numbers here, it'll add it to all 4 sides at once. We don't want that. So let's uncheck. And at the top, let's add maybe 100 pixels. Next, let's come back to content and let's select a background image to be behind all of this. So I'm going to use a stock image this time. So here I search for fire and I'm just going to select one of these here. So there we go. I selected this one here. And under background position, I'm going to change this to 100% width top. Let's see what it looks like with the bottom. That looks pretty good as well. Let's go ahead and make this white text. So we'll come under advanced, color, and white. It's a little difficult to read some of the text here. So I'm going to select this and change this back to the 100% width. There we go. We have a little bit of fire behind there and it looks good. We also have the divider here. Let's select this. I'm going to change the thickness of it a little bit to 2 and the color to white. Next, let's go ahead and save this and we can exit out of here. If we refresh our page, we can see that we now have our header at the top and we have our footer at the bottom here. So now we have a little newsletter that we can capture emails with. We have our logo, the menu, and then the order online here. And again, these appear on every single page. So here's our order page, and you can see it on the header and the footer. Great, now I want to customize the front page as best as we can. And the front page, I actually want to have a custom header on. So there won't be any header template at all. We'll just build it directly in here. But that means that we need to use conditions to hide this header on our front page. So let's go ahead and do that. So right now our header is included on the entire website. So let's go ahead and edit conditions and we'll add a new one to our header. But this time we want to exclude the header template on our front page. Now let's save this. If we come back and refresh, you'll see that that is hidden. So it's completely gone from our header. It still appears on all of our other pages though. So if we look at history, you can see our header appears here, menu and order. On the home page though, it's completely gone. All right, so let's start building out our front page. Let's start with this header piece for our home page. So to edit this page, we have the home page and we can click on edit design. So since we're not using the header here, let's go ahead and click the little eyeball here to hide this template. Great, so the first thing I want to do is find a new picture for the background. So let's select this section again, and I'm going to do a search for maybe grill or barbecue. So here we go, here's a few pictures. I'm going to select this one right here. And now let's make some modifications here. I want to have a menu in the top right with our logo in the middle. Right now, this big block is a spacer. This is just literally to show different space. We can actually get rid of this for now. And let's start by adding our logo. So let's take the image, we'll drop it in here, select, choose the image, and we'll select this one right here. Now that's definitely too big, so let's guess maybe 200. We could even go 250. And I think that looks pretty good. Let's add another row above the logo. I'm going to take the column, we'll drop it in here, and just a single column. Here I'll search for the menu. And we'll take the nav menu and drop it in. And we'll select this, and we'll select WordPress menu, and we'll select the main one that we created. This time we'll align to the right, and we'll change the advanced settings for the text color to white. Under typography, let's go to edit, and I want this to be uppercase. There we go, we have our menu up top, we have a logo, and now we have our hero text here, so we can update this. So click on this block and update the text. And then we have some text underneath this as well. Let's update that. I think I'd like a little space in between here. So let's put under advanced spacing for the top margin, let's put about 50 pixels. And I think that looks good. For this text underneath here, let's go ahead and edit the typography. We have letter spacing here. Let's see what this looks like if we increase this a bit. There we go. I think that looks good. And let's change the font here to Monstrat. And I'll just select regular 400. Now, lastly, we have some buttons here that we want to add. Let's come under the blocks again, and we can remove this. And I want to add 2 buttons. So this time I want to have a column. I'll drop this in here with 2 columns here, 1, 2. I want a button on the left and on the right. Let's take this one and drag it inside, and we'll select the block settings for this. I'll say our menu for this one, and we'll link this to the menu page, and we'll align this to the right. That'll be inside here. Let's go under advanced. For the background color, I'll change this to black, and horizontal padding, we might increase that a little bit. Stay around here. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. So we have 2 buttons, and we'll drag this one to the right. We'll go into the settings. This time we'll align this to the left side. We'll come under content, align left. Under advanced, let's change the color to a bright red, and we'll change the text here to order online. I'd like these to be similar in size, so I'll come back here under advanced for our menu. We'll just increase the padding here. It's about the same size as the button on the right. Let's go ahead and save our page and see how it looks. We'll refresh. And there we go. We have a custom header so far for our front page. Let's go ahead and save this, and I'm just going to exit for a second. I just want to take a moment to discuss global CSS. So let's go ahead and click on Edit Design. So by now you should be somewhat familiar with the theme builder here with the layout. So you have options on the left and on the right. With the global CSS, the content that you see here on the right is just sample content so that you can modify it to update your buttons and how your text and everything looks. So here, for example, you have your colors for your headers, text, buttons, links, and background. And these will be applied across your website. So for example, if you set your buttons to this brown color, all of your buttons will by default be that brown color. Now you can of course override that on the block level. So I set this one to black, and there's one here that I set to red, but the default colors are set here in the global CSS. Now for this example, I didn't use the global CSS because I'm going to have a high contrast of colors on light background with dark text and on dark backgrounds with light text. There's videos on the SeedProd YouTube channel if you want to check out more about how to use global CSS, but it's quite straightforward. So for example, buttons, you can set the default font, the normal state, the hover state, For example, I could go with the red, and then for the hover state, we could do red, but then maybe make it a little bit darker. Now here you can see an example of that button. For this video, to save some time, I'm going to leave it how it is, and I'm just going to modify the colors and everything on the block level. Let's go ahead and save this and close it. Next, let's come down and see the next section that we can modify. So we'll do this section right here. Let's go ahead and quickly modify this. Let's go to the home page and edit design. We'll scroll down to this section right here. First off, I want to change the section background color. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's use 2E0000. And all of the text I'm going to update to white. So here on the right-hand side, we have the restaurant hours. I'm just going to fast forward the video and just type in the different text here. Let's go ahead now and update this section here to make it look a little bit nicer. So let's look for the left column here. So you can select the left column with this little column settings button. And now I'm highlighting this section. Let's change the background to black. And I want to go under advanced and border. And I want to target the top left, not all of them. So let's uncheck this. And I'm going to put a value here of say 25, actually maybe more. Let's go for 50. And now let's do the same thing to the right side. I'll select the settings here. The background color for this, I'm going to set to the red, bright red, and under advanced border, uncheck bottom right. Let's go ahead and do the same thing. This just gives it a little bit of style. Let's go back and let's look for columns. I'll add a new column here to the top, just a single column, and we'll search for a divider. So I'll enter a divider here. Let's select this one and we'll make this about 10 pixels wide and we'll change it to white. The height of it, let's change that to 2. And let's go under advanced spacing. And I want to put some padding on the top of 50 and the bottom of 50. Now we have too much space here because the section has padding as well. Go under the section here for advanced spacing and we'll get rid of all this. So now the only spacing that we have is right here around the divider. Let's go ahead and duplicate the row, not just the block, we want the blue row here. And now we can take this whole row and drop it underneath. Let's go ahead and save and see what this looks like. And there we go. We have a whole new section here that matches our header. We have the colors that look good. And we made it look a little bit nicer. If you want, you could actually add some more padding around the edges here. So for example, if we selected this section for the column under advanced spacing, you could actually put, say, maybe 20 pixels on the inside around everything. You can do the same to the right as well. All right, let's go ahead and save that. And let's work on the next section. So instead of the menu here, I actually want to have a bigger section here about our history. So this is going to be a unique section that we can create. It's going to be about this size as well, but we can just create one from scratch. Let's go ahead and delete this block and we'll add a new section here. For the columns, we'll just add one column and we'll just drag this so it's above this piece here, but below this piece. So the first thing we're going to do is add some text in here. So I'll drag the text block and I'll update the text. I'll just say our history. Let's go ahead and center this under the align. Underneath this, I want to say 100 years of service. You notice in the logo, it says established in 1922, so about 100 years ago. We'll take the headline and drop it underneath here. We'll update the text to say 100 years of service. And let's make this look a little bit bigger. We'll say about there. Let's go ahead and add another divider. So I'll duplicate this one up here and then I'll grab it and drop it underneath. Now remember the color is white, so we can't see it. Let's change that to black. And let's add some more text underneath here. We don't need quite that much. Let's say maybe around here, but maybe we can make it bigger. And we can also go under advanced, edit typography. Let's uppercase that as well. Now, of course, you would update all of this text with actual text that you want to talk about and discuss. Okay, let's add one more final block of text. We'll just update this and I'll center that as well. I think I'll add a button here at the bottom so we can actually go ahead and duplicate, say, the red one here. And I'm going to drop this down to the bottom. If you need help dragging these, don't forget about the navigation, the layout navigation, so you can move items around there as well. Let's go ahead and click this and center. I'm going to update this button to say learn more about us. And this will link instead to the menu. We want this to go to the history page. Let's add some spacing on the top. We'll say about 50 pixels. There we go. Now we can't really determine the different sections here, so let's add a nice background here. I actually want to add some spacing at the top as well. So let's go under advanced spacing. This is to the section. Let's uncheck this and we'll say on the top, maybe 50. Bottom, let's add about 50 as well. Next, let's go under content and add a background image. Let's go ahead and use a stock image. And I'm going to search for subtle texture. So here, because it's about history, I need it to match the design, but I also want to have kind of a rustic look. So old paper would kind of be nice. So something like this right here. Let's go ahead and select this. And there we go. I think that looks pretty nice. You can actually use the background position here on the left-hand side to move it around however you wish. And you could actually repeat this because the repeatable lines here actually look like folds in the paper. So that actually kind of works. So there we go. We have a nice section here all about the history where people could learn more about the restaurant. Great. Next, let's come down and clean up this area here with our different menu items. So instead of dinner, wine, and dessert, let's change this to lunch, dinner, and dessert. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually delete the text inside here. I like the layout, but I'm not going to use text, and I'll show you why. So we have a background image here and the text doesn't really show up very well on it. Let's go ahead and use a modified button so we can style it. We'll drop that in here and I'll hit block settings and we can update the text here. Let's say lunch menu. I'm just doing all caps here, but remember you can go under advanced typography and click the uppercase here under the styles. I'm going to link this to the menu, but we're going to add anchor links to these in a bit. For now, this is fine. Let's come under advanced and for the background color, let's go ahead and select this to black, but then we can use the opacity toggle here to take this down. So we don't want to go too far, but just enough though that we can see the text, but see through it as well. And to keep with our border radius on everything else, let's go to 0. There we go. We have a lunch menu. Let's update the background image so that it makes more sense for this restaurant. We'll use a stock image and I'll just search for a hamburger image. I'll select this one here and I'll select 100 width top. There we go. That looks a little bit better. I'm just going to do the exact same thing for these two as well, for dinner and for dessert. Okay, great. We have all 3 different sections here with the images updated. Let's go ahead and select the section behind it. And let's update the background color. And we'll use 2E0000. Let's add some spacing and padding on this. Under advanced for the section spacing. Let's do 100 on the top and 100 on the bottom. We can add that same kind of curvature that we added up here just to keep the theme the same. So this left section, let's go ahead and select this. Advanced, border. Uncheck this, and the top left, let's go ahead and add 50. And the same thing for the right side for the bottom right corner. Advanced, border, uncheck, let's add 50. We could also add the dividers here as well, these white ones. Remember to select the row, not just the block. We want the whole row when we bring that along. And we'll select this to move it. There we go, that looks good. So I forgot about the spacing on the divider, so we actually didn't need the spacing here on the section. So let's go back and just remove that quick. And there we go, we can duplicate this whole row and then bring a second one down below it. Great, now we have this section at the bottom. These are actually blog posts brought into our page. So you can bring dynamic posts from your blog and add them anywhere on your pages if you wish. Again, in this website, we're not creating a blog, so I'm just going to remove this. And there we go. Let's go ahead and save this and refresh our front page. Let's take a look. We have our menu, logo. We have the buttons. We have our restaurant information and hours. We have a little bit of history here. We have our menu here that we can select, and we have a footer with a newsletter opt-in, menu logo, and another button. Next, I'm going to work on the menu page here, so let's open that, and let's spice this up a little bit, and I'll show you how to create a classic but simple menu page. So let's click on Edit Page, and then here we can edit with SeedProd. Note that by switching to SeedProd, the current page's content will be replaced. Let's just cancel for this for a second. I want to stress that you can actually combine Gutenberg or the block editor with SeedProd as well. So for example, you could enter different content here, and save this, and this will actually appear on your page here. Any Gutenberg content from the block editor will actually appear in your pages. So you still have the SeedProd header and the footer combined with the block editor content. For this example, I'm just going to edit with SeedProd. So I'm going to switch this to a SeedProd theme template for the page. And here I'm going to delete this and we'll start building out our menu. The background color, I want to update this to a background color here. And we'll change this to DB. That'll be a light gray. Let's go ahead and add a divider at the top. We'll select the block here. We'll change this to red so it stands out and just about 10 pixels wide and 2 pixels high. Next, let's go ahead and add a header. So I'll add the headline block right underneath here. Go ahead and select this and update. We'll call this lunch menu. Underneath that, maybe you'll have a little bit of text describing what's for lunch, maybe sides that you could add to it, whatever you wish. I'll go ahead and center this and we'll just leave that there. Now I want to add another divider here, but a different style. So let's go ahead and add a brand new one. Let's select this. Let's make it 2. And we'll have it the whole width across. The color, I actually want this to be white, so it'll stand out a little bit. And we can go with the dash. I'm just selecting the dash here because it matches our logo as well. Let's come back and let's actually enter a column here. So what I'm thinking, we'll do 3 columns. So we'll have a picture of the food, the name of it with a little bit of description, and the price on the right-hand side. Let's do 3 columns here, and we'll resize these. So we have the picture on the left, and we have the name here, and then the price on the right. That looks good. Let's go ahead and add a picture. Drag that in here and select. And I'm just going to use a stock image, but you probably would have your own photos if you had your own restaurant. And I'm just going to select a random one here. This burger is fine. And I'm going to select the advanced tab, image border, and the border radius. Let's add 20 just to add a little bit of curvature to the corners there. Let's just come back and add a headline here. And we'll align this to the left. I'm going to make this an H3 so it's a little bit smaller. And we'll just change this to a classic hamburger or whatever the name of your dish is. And then we'll put a little bit of text underneath here. And this could have maybe the ingredients for it. On the right-hand side, let's go ahead and add a little headline here as well for the price. And this will select H3, maybe even an H4. I think we'll go with H3. And we'll just put a random price in here. Great, now let's select this whole row and let's vertically line it in the middle. Next, let's create another column underneath here, just a single one, and we'll duplicate this block and we'll drag this underneath inside here. Let's check the spacing on the divider here. We want to make sure that there's no spacing. We just want that to be nice and close to this menu item. You can add spacing if you wish. There we go, we have our first item. Let's save this and refresh the menu. And there you go, you can see it's starting to come along. I think I want some spacing up top here on the bottom, the spacing. Uncheck this, maybe 100. Might be a bit much, but that's fine for now. Actually, I like that. And now when you add more items, you can go ahead and just duplicate these. You can create a dinner section and a dessert section as well. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now by fast forwarding the video. And there we go. I entered the different sections. So we have the lunch menu. We have the dinner menu. Of course, you would update each item to be different. And we have the dessert section here as well. Let's go ahead and save this and refresh the menu page. And there you go. It looks pretty good. We have the different sections. Now, one thing I want to show you how to do is let's just open the main page here in a new window. If we come down, we have the order online in the menu. So this works. It comes to the menu. But at the bottom, if you remember, we have these three different sections: lunch, dinner, and lunch. I don't know why we have lunch twice, so we can update that. But when we click on it, it only takes us to the menu. What we could do is put anchor links. So it brings it right to the dinner menu and right to the dessert menu. So let's go ahead and do that. So back on our menu page inside the theme builder, let's go ahead and right underneath each section here, let's add a block called anchor. We actually have one called anchor. We can drop that, say, right in here. Maybe I'll put it up right above the title, and we can modify the settings here and give it a name. So for example, I'll call this one lunch. And if we come down, we'll add another one here. I'll call this one dinner. And of course, the third one for dessert, drop that right under here and call it dessert. Go ahead and save our page here, and we can close this out. We'll come back to the theme builder and edit our home page, and I'll scroll down to the bottom to these sections. We have lunch, dinner, and dessert. So let's go ahead and select this one. Right now it says menu. Now to link to that lunch section, let's go ahead and put a hashtag, and we called it lunch. So that's all we have to do is just put the hashtag lunch, whatever the anchor name is, after the URL. Go ahead and do the same thing for dinner, just hashtag with dinner, and dessert, we can put hashtag with dessert. Let's go ahead and save this and refresh the front page and come down to the bottom. Now if we click on lunch, you'll see that it comes down to this lunch section. We come back, click on dinner, you'll see it comes to the dinner menu. And the same thing for the dessert. We're now at the bottom of the page here for the dessert. Lastly, let's come under the history page, and I'll just create a quick page here. I think by now you should have a good understanding of how to create page layouts. So maybe find some inspiration of a page that you like and try to recreate it with your own content put into it. Let's come back under pages, all pages, and we can edit this page right here. But while you're logged in as an admin user, you can also click on edit page while you're on that page as well. Let's go ahead and click on edit page, and then edit with SeedProd. Let's click OK. And now we can create our layout here. Let's do 2 columns here, maybe an image on the left-hand side. And you can get creative with this. We have lots of different image boxes. We have image carousels. You can do animated headlines and icons, social profiles. You could put your team members on here. There's so much that you can do with SeedProd and the theme builder. So here I just found a picture of an old bar here. Let's go to an advanced image border. We could put maybe some radius on this if you want to on the edges. You could put various text here. So maybe some different sections about the history of your grill. We could drag some text in here. We could duplicate this a few times. And if you need inspiration, you can actually come under sections here. We have headers and heroes and call to actions and FAQs and features. There's lots of different options here to choose for different layouts to help you. So for example, here's one. This is for a features page, but we could use it for the history. For example, let's delete the one that we just created and move this up, and we can just replace the text, and then we can update the text here and the images. So there you go. I'm not going to get too in depth with this. We can maybe make a few changes here, such as the background that we used earlier. I think we used DB. We can maybe make this a little bit bigger. And we could add some spacing here as well. Go ahead and save this, and we can exit here and check out the front page. There you go. You can see our history page that we just created. Nice, quickly and easily. Nice, simple page. There we go. We have our home page. So we have the header. We have the buttons that look nice. We have some border radius to make it look a little bit more fancy. We have the dividers. We have a nice background usage here to give a vintage look. We have our lunch, dinner, and dessert menu. We have a call to action here to join our newsletter at the bottom with our menu. If we come up, we have our history page that we just created, which looks nice. We also have our menu, which is simple, but it gets the point across. And you can update this easily whenever you wish. And then of course our order page, which we're not going to be doing in this video. And I'll just mention it quickly again if you missed it earlier in the video, if you skipped. WP Beginner has a great article on how to set up online food ordering for restaurants in WordPress. So you could use that to create your ordering system for your restaurant. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you had as much fun as I did creating this website. I hope it gives you inspiration to create many great websites with SeedProd, and that it helps out your small business or your personal website. There's so much more that we can cover with SeedProd, so please check out the SeedProd YouTube channel for more videos. And thank you to WP Beginner for showcasing such a fantastic tool.